Hi, I'm Steve Kime and welcome to City Connections, Ask the Commissioner. I'm in the middle of a 240 plus acre Milo field and I see off into the distance Ward 4 Commissioner Rodney Timm. Let's see if we can get him out of that combine for a few moments and ask the Commissioner.
Enid, Oklahoma, from wheat fields to the economic hub of Northwest Oklahoma. The social, medical, and educational center for the region. Enid is a safe and economic place to live, work, and raise a family. A city with an entrepreneurial spirit. Enid is a community overflowing with boundless opportunities, building an original heritage and pulsating with a vibrant quality of life. Now join Steve Kime as he brings another exciting edition of City Connections.
Well, welcome back to City Connections, Ask the Commissioner segment. Here I stand next to a case combine. It's 17 tons. And Commissioner Timm,
yes,
can you
sir.
take a moment and come talk to us?
You bet. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome to the program. You know, we were talking this morning, Commissioner, that you started at dark 30 this morning. That's what I call it, dark 30.
That's what I did this morning.
And you went to another community to, I guess, feed some cattle, and then you came back as a city commissioner. You had a responsibility for a luncheon. Can you kind of tell us, you know, what kind of adjustment did you have to make? You know, as a farmer and a rancher, what kind of adjustment did you have to make to fit in being a commissioner?
Thank goodness for these iPad phones with calendars on them. I never had much as far as leaving the farm, but now I do 3 or 4 different things a day. But having those appointments all lined up for me for a month now, you just kind of work around it where you know what's coming up.
On a good day when everything is just going perfect for you, Commissioner, here we are in a 240 some acre Milo field. I guess I call it field. How long will it take you to cut this?
Oh, you got 15, 20 acres an hour, so 12 hours, 14 hours.
That's weather permitting.
Weather permitting, and this time of year, it's frosty and damp in the morning, so you kind of don't start till after dinner, and then it gets dark early, so you don't get many daylight hours in.
Well, as you know, we've been doing a segment with all of our city commissioners and asking them basically all the same questions. And one of my questions with the commissioners was, why in the world did you get involved being a city commissioner?
Well, there's days you wonder that, but then there's days that it's really exciting. I want to be a part of the growth and what's going on in Enid, and also help it to keep the steadiness that it has happened in the years past.
Well, Commissioner Timm, and Ward 4 is your jurisdiction, if you will. I know that you're a rancher, that you're a farmer, that you're you know, a grandfather, if you will, and deacon of your church, and the list goes on, realtor. And here you are with this big, massive thing here working today. How do you weave all that into your schedule?
Well, I stay busy. Well, like this morning, I headed to hunt about 6 o'clock in the dark to feed cattle because I knew I had my luncheon at 11:30, and then wanted to get that done. Yesterday I had a realtor meeting at 7:30, chopped ice for about 3-4 hours because of the weather it is now, and had a City of Enid meeting. Came out and cut Milo for about 3 or 4 hours, then got dark, then we had the city Christmas party last night, so I went to that. So I changed clothes quite often yesterday.
I noticed that. One of the questions that I've asked all the commissioners is issues that are important to you. You've already shared, you know, your desire of serving on the commission, but are there any issues for Ward 4 or just that are near and dear to you?
Well, I think I've visited with you once before. I'm more of a nuts and bolts, I guess, kind of a guy.
Sure.
Sewer, water, streets, to have the base underneath this good and solid. And for my ward, that's very important. I want more housing and more development in my ward, restaurants and businesses to, you know, help them also.
This kind of piggybacks along with that particular question. Commissioner, is there any really certain priorities that you have personally, but then also part of the team effort? Are there priorities as
well?
Serving on
Part
the
of my priorities is the long-term water situation, and just like all over Enid, the water pressure for fire hydrants and that kind of thing. I just think Everybody, we're doing really great now. We're bringing businesses in and stuff, but I think to support them, we got to have that foundation underneath them to, so they're happy when they get here.
I think when you serve on the commission, you almost kind of wish you had a special expertise into looking into that crystal ball.
Yes, sir.
Because you're trying to find that balancing act of water, resources, infrastructure, but yet economic development to draw people in. Right. So how big a challenge is that?
It is, because it goes back to the chicken and the egg thing. You got to have one to get the other, but it's just a kind of a guessing game. You're taking chances, and you have to commend the past commission. They've taken a couple chances. It's paying off great, but and they probably got some ridicule of some of that stuff. But look what it's done by taking that chance. But now it's my business as getting on there to protect that, to keep it going.
This is a rather windy afternoon, and it's a 40-degree day. Feels kind of like a 20-degree day. This is the most important question in this segment. Does this thing have a good heater?
It does have a good heater.
Okay, let's go check that out. Thank you for being with us on City Connections. Ask the Commissioner. We'll have more questions and hopefully more answers with Commissioner Timm right after this. Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back to City Connections, Ask the Commissioner version. Commissioner Timm, a lot of people kind of have that 8 to 5 routine, get up in the morning, shower, shave, whatever, breakfast, 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they go home. Here we've moved to another acreage, if you will, and you've got a few of your friends behind you that as much as they're mooing, that's my farm word of the day, mooing. I don't know if they want me to leave or if they're hungry. I noticed you fed them some cues. Tell us a little bit about how keeping up with all the cattle that you have. What's the challenges there?
Oh, there's plenty. It's kind of my best part of all my farming operation is the cows. I like the mama calf deal. Just something about a new baby calf, You just have your schedule every day, and like this morning, I was trying to hurry to get to a city meeting.
Sure.
And had electric fence broke down, so I had to fix it real quick. And then
it's not like, oh, I'll get back to that later.
Right.
No.
And I even had to call in the last two meetings ago to our special meeting, or not a special meeting, but study session, because I had cattle out. And I called ahead and said I'll be a tick late, because I had cattle out, and
sure.
It's just kind of part of the business.
Well, Commissioner, we've touched on a little bit of your priorities and some of the things that are important to you and the issues, if you will. My next question kind of goes alongside that is, what really do you hope to achieve? Serving as City Commissioner, as busy as you are, what do you hope to achieve?
Well, at this point, I think we need, priority is to try to keep this going. We're on a great run. I think the priority is to keep that rolling. In my business, it's an up and down business. Cattle prices drop, grain prices drop. I know how it can spike and fall, and I just want to, have the city prepared for those ups and downs if they ever do come, which most likely there could be, but be established and solid enough that we can handle the bad times as we do the good times.
Well, it sounds like the cattle, are they having a good time as much as they're talking?
They're doing fine.
They're doing fine, okay. Well, let me ask you this. If we could look into that crystal ball, Commissioner Timm, and say 10 years down the road, based on your work, joining forces with the other commissioners, where do you hope to see Enid in the next decade?
Well, I think it's very hard to tell. When things are good like they are right now, mistakes don't show up as much. So I think it's for the 10 years is don't make those mistakes. Be prepared, like I said before, of the ups and downs. And I just want to mention that, between all 7 of us, we all have different opinions, but I've never seen 7 people that's for Enid, and that makes it a whole lot better. We might disagree on a certain thing or two, but we're all pro Enid.
One of the things that I enjoy about doing this particular segment is that we get to visit with the city commissioners in their world, in their 8 to 5, if you will, to learn a little bit more about the city commissioners, because they do a lot more than sit behind that desk on Tuesday night. So we'll have a final question for Commissioner Timm, Ward 4, right after this. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on City Connections, Ask the Commissioner. Commissioner Timm, I've got one more question for you, and I know we've talked some about the challenges of getting up at dark 30, fixing the fence when you got to fix the fence, get to a meeting and so forth. So my final question for you, Rodney, is about challenges. What's the first thing that comes to mind if I say, what's the biggest challenge you face serving as Ward 4 City Commissioner?
Well, things that we have discussed already, but also I don't want to be the one that messes this deal up. We're on a roll, so I think it puts more pressure on when things are good.
Sure.
To make sure we're making the right decisions as we go, taking certain money, maybe putting not in a hole, but make sure we're using it the right way, that we have that security behind us.
And I think this is where the research and all the reading and preparation that you talk about comes into play.
Yes, like I
You're
said.
just not showing up for a meeting. You've had hours of homework.
Well, like I said, I study that stuff on the combine. I'll be cutting down to the field, reading my agenda, going over different things.
So that's you doing this.
That's me doing that.
When you're turning the page or something.
Luckily, my tractor has GPS and it drives by itself, so I can actually read while I'm driving. But I don't think people realize, and I didn't, and I think most commissioners will say, it's a pretty full-time job if you want to do it the right way, and which I think everybody does, or they wouldn't get into it. But it's been very challenging, but I've really enjoyed it. Good staff, people to work with. Everybody's on the same page.
Well, Commissioner Timm, thank you for your service to the city of Enid. I appreciate your commitment, your level of commitment, and your sincerity of not wanting to mess things up, as you said. Again, thank you for staying with us on City Connections. I'll have some final comments right after this. You know, today we've been talking about fire flow, the code of fire flow, and property. To stretch it even further, we have what's the first thing that
There is a couple of
room that I'm conscious. So well, thank you for staying with us on City Connections. Ask the Commissioner. It's been my privilege to visit with Commissioner Rodney Timm of Ward 4, learn more about his day and also his work as a City Commissioner. Special thanks to Penn Klein behind the camera, Pegasus, and just really appreciate all the commissioners allowing us to come into their world and talk about city government. Thank you for being with us on City Connections. Until next time, make it a great day. If you have a topic or a suggestion for a future City Connections program, please email me at asksteve@enid.org. The email address again is asksteve@enid.org.